What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me, but I just got home off of an early morning flight, right? First thing through the door, I want to see my family. I love my family. You know, I'm a family man. I'm an advocate for families, right? Second thing, I got to get that hot shower because I got to throw the threads on. The threads make me feel like $1,000,000, but the third thing through my mind and all throughout the trip is that I gotta have that Tej pack. Tej makes my life uncomplicated. It's uncomplicated skincare for men. The first way that I started specifically was their level 1 system. It's a daily face wash to get rid of the dirt and grime on your skin. 2 times per week exfoliating scrub to get rid of the dead skin cells. An AM moisturizer with SPF 20 because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun. And a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. Here's the thing. My favorite part about Tej Henley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. They really making the process of achieving and maintaining amazing skin for men uncomplicated. In addition to amazing skin, members of Tej Henley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off the retail price, the ability to customize your box, exclusive monthly deals, you can pause and cancel at any time, and you get free shipping. And because Tej Henley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers an amazing deal, right? Just click the first link in the description and you get 30% off your first box, plus a free gift. It's an amazing deal. You got to get started today. You're not out here trying to look like a Dusty. And if you travel as much as I do, which I'm sure most people don't, but you know me, I'm pushing my bag chasers in order to be in the top 5%, top 10%, top 1%. We got to make our lives uncomplicated, and Tej Henley is no better product. You got to look good. You got to smell good. And you can't be looking like a Dusty. Make sure you get started today. Click the link in the description. Get that Tej pack. Feel the Tej, my friends. Whoa, what is going on with my camera? Hold on one second before I start this. Gotta make sure that my camera's straight. For some reason, my camera was looking crazy for a minute there. I don't know what's going on. There we go. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. My camera behind the scenes, I could see it before I actually go live with it, and it was looking insane. What up? What up, friends and family? It is Monday, November 20th, 2023, year of our Lord, and I got a full show and a full week for you guys today. What up? Still riding on that Scary Hour street ride? Drake showed out? Yeah, he did. He dropped them 6 tracks and the mugs was going ham. Listen, we got a full show for you guys today and a full show for you guys all this week. Can we get a round of applause for the Detroit Lions? Right after Jared Goff threw 3 interceptions, he came through in the last 4 minutes. I was down here downtown in Detroit. We had a party down here. We had the tree lighting when it was over 105,000 people down here in Detroit. It was incredible. It was a sight to see. Man, let me tell you something. First of all, let's give a round of applause for Detroit beating up on Chicago in the honor of Anton versus all of the Chicago mayors. Yeah. Yeah. It was a sight to see. A sight to see. And my guys over at the Detroit Lions, they honored me. They did me proud this weekend by making sure that they held Chicago accountable for coming into our den and thinking that they were going to do anything other than get their hopes up only to be let down. So shout out to the Detroit Lions, 8-2, practically leading the entire league. We appreciate you guys for supporting the Detroit Lions, and even for the NFL commissioner for coming out and saying great things about the Lions. Absolutely. We back, man. Detroit is back, man. All right, listen, I don't want to harp too much. I don't want to gloat too much. Even though that's my thing, I don't want to do too much of that. I want to make sure that we running it up and that we have a great show today. All right, so how y'all feeling? How y'all feeling today? Let me get one word in the chat of what your general sentiment is going into this Thanksgiving week. Connie said Bears fans were happy until they weren't. Let me get one word in the chat. One word in the chat so I can hear what I'm feeling great. I'm feeling incredible. Let me get one word in the chat so I can get the general sentiment of what the people are feeling today. Mary said grateful, motivated, great. What up, Ash? Powerful, thankful, busy, youthful, happy, says Megan Curley, focused, amazing, blessed, awesome, determined, blessed, graceful, blessed, drowning. We don't like that. Happy. All right. Hold on, Spaces. What's going on with you? Tony says unbeatable, peaceful, blessed, Eagles. I don't know about that. Great, amazing. Worried about Hassan Campbell. I'm going to have to look that up. Hungry, humbled, wonderful, enterprising, love, awesome, hopeful, prepared, blessed. Splendid, rested, blessed, cheesy, excited, thirsty, motivated, healthy, worried, peace of mind. What are y'all worried about? Bossed up, locked in, sensational, ascended, optimistic, unbothered, storied, accomplished, grinding. All right, hold on. Before we get into the show, let me say something about this. I know what y'all feeling about the unsettled, worrying, and all of that, right? Because it's a couple people in here that keep coming with the same sentiment every day. And let me just address that really quickly before we get into the show. I was having a conversation with some people over the weekend and this morning. I had a conversation with Rita this morning, and let me tell you, this is the honest. I'm so glad, and this is one of the reasons Tam said optimistic, Yakar said purpose. I'm so glad that y'all telling me how y'all feel, because I used to feel that too. All right, so let me give you a little bit of insight, and then we're going to get into the show, because we got a lot to cover today. For all of you that are feeling unsettled, worried, I don't know what's going to happen next, I'm in a dire situation, this may happen or whatever. First and foremost, let me lead with this by saying that you don't want to live it twice. Stop living it twice. A lot of time you living it once when it's not even to come, because you already worrying about something that's not even going to show itself to be a part of your life. And then if it is to come, then face it head on, but don't live it twice. And then don't live it twice or 3 times in your past by then revisiting it every time you feel a certain way, so that it then shows itself, its ugly head, and then it's controlling you. It's controlling your thoughts. It's controlling the way that you look at things. It's controlling your relationships. This is one of the reasons why I say it's difficult for a lot of women to get into a new relationship once they've been into a whole lot of relationships, because subconsciously what happens is they carry a lot of those residual effects from the past into whatever it is that they got going on in the future. And they may not even know that they're doing it. However, they are. And so a lot of times the boyfriend or the new guy or the new husband can see it. And so he got to work with you through it, because you can't let go of the things that you had in your past and you don't understand how to. So I'm going to give you a little bit of insight on how you can let it go, and then B, how you can deal with it going forward, and that you don't let it affect how you're doing things going into the future, right? So I was telling Rita this morning, and I was having a conversation, because this is something that I didn't share with her. And a lot of times us men, right? Men tend to deal with things silently because we just understand what it means to be a man. And women don't really understand it because they've never been a man, which is one of the reasons why I tell you guys, stop trying to be men, stay in your space, because your femininity is your superpower. But men understand that we have no safety net. And I was telling Rita, I said, man, I just been having this uneasy feeling within my spirit over the weekend. And maybe it was from you guys, but I have been having this uneasy spirit in my soul for the weekend. And I just been taking it in, right? And overnight, I wake up in the middle of the night, and then I got up and I prayed about it. And I said, what is happening with this uneasy spirit? What am I concerning myself with? Why am I being woken up in the middle of the night, not feeling good about something? What is this feeling? And then I went over my whole life with a fine-tooth comb, and I said, okay, I'm taking care of business. I'm on top of things. My people that work for me is good. Everything is straight, right? And so I just went ahead and I went to sleep, and then I just let it go. I prayed about it. I let it go. And then the next day I was feeling the same way. And then I prayed about it and I let it go. And then I had to revisit some stuff in my past in order to ensure that I wasn't doing the same thing that I used to do. And so this was my problem, right? A lot of us that come from the hood, for example, we know what it's like not to have nothing. We know what it's like to be broke. We know what it's like to go through something and then to overcome it. But the thing that we don't deal with is the fact that we can't let that past go. And so we use that past in order to propel ourselves, but we don't know how to let it go. And this is one of the things that really, really held me down before I started to really take off and transcend, right? So for example, I would use all of the, and I'm going to read that super chat shortly. I'm going to come to y'all shortly. I would use all of the stuff that people said that I couldn't do. Oh, you're never going to make it out the hood. You're never going to be nothing. Your YouTube channel is never going to be nothing. You're never going to be able to get to the highest levels of corporate America. Your businesses is going to fail. I've been hearing that my entire life. People sitting there, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have experienced the same thing. You try to start a business and people can't wait for you to fail. And if you decide that you want to exit that business, or that business don't go the way you wanted it to go, or it didn't go the way that you planned for it, people are laughing at it or whatever, or they saying, or a teacher in your past is saying that you was never going to be anything. And so what we do, the successful ones, is we use that in order to propel us forward, right? We're negatively motivated, which can be a powerful tool for what success looks like, because you take all of that and instead of letting it beat you down, you harness it and you allow for it to propel you forward. And this is one of the reasons why you have to be a certain age to be a life coach, because most people don't understand all of the different transitions of what life is supposed to do for you. So you become successful, or you let that propel you to continue to be successful. But what they didn't tell you, the other side of that equation, is that you never let that go within your heart. So that same thing that propelled you to be successful is the same thing that continues to keep you trapped from going to the next level, right? Because that same residual effect, me coming from nothing, when I went broke when I was in my early 20s, had to move back into my mother's basement, had the shame of it, leverage that in order to continue to become successful, get into the best space or the biggest spaces possible to get rich again or become successful again, right? You propel yourself from that. But it took me practically 9, 8, 9, 10 years before I started spending money again, because I was so worried about the possibility of, I never want to go broke again. So I got to make sure that we got enough money. I got to get this number before I start really living life. And I wasn't able to enjoy myself. And that entire time, instead of me living in the moment, I was so focused on, I never want to be broke again. I don't want nobody to say nothing against me, or I don't want nobody to ever tease me, or I don't ever want to be in a situation where my wife or my family don't have nothing. And so it took me so long before I could even start enjoying life. I lived for free up until like 2017. I was rent free all the way up in 2017, 2018. And it wasn't because I couldn't afford another place where I couldn't start it, spreading my wings and spending money. It was because I was so worried about going broke again. I was so worried about the residual effects of what happened in my childhood of being broke, or 2008 when all of the crisis ran out and I had to move back into my mother's basement. My whole life goal was, I'm going to use this to propel me forward. But then when I became successful, I couldn't enjoy it, or I really never embraced it because I was so worried about what happened to me in 2008. I never got over it. I would not hardly spend a dime until I got to a certain level. And this is the thing that happened with people that have success. They are saving, they doing the right thing, but they don't even enjoy their life until they get 70, 80 years old. And then they got a 5-year window before they can start enjoying themselves before they die. Somebody said, how was I living rent free? Well, my father was the maintenance guy because we moved 2 doors down from my mother in a townhome / apartment. And my father was the maintenance guy, the head of maintenance in the entire facility. And so he got to live free. And then he leveraged that in order to continue to get us to live free, because we had to move 2 doors down in order to take care of my mother. So up until my father died in 2017, we were living rent free the entire time. And so I had no reason to be able to move out. That's one of the reasons I was living free, is because my father was the maintenance guy at the place that we were staying at. So we were living free, and I was unwilling to spend a dime. But it wasn't that I was just unwilling to spend a dime because we were living free. It was also because I was afraid to spend any money because of the residual effects of what happened in 2008. And that thing still carry me. It still carries me sometimes. Sometimes I wake up and it's like a worst nightmare. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm broke again. And I'm like, I get up, I check my bank account. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm still rich. You know what I'm saying though? And so when you guys are living based off of worry, you are often at times living based off of something that happened to you in your past that's still affecting how you look at things going forward. And I'm not saying don't be informed by your past, but I am saying that don't let it control you. Don't let it control you. Don't let yourself be shackled by your past. And that could be anything. I'm using an example as far as finances in order to illustrate some stuff. But what I'm communicating to you guys is you're always going to be having problems. There's never going to be a shortage of people that come at you on social media. There's never going to be a shortage of people that doubt you. You're never going to get away from people that think that you're not going to ever be anything higher than whatever it is, no matter how high you go. You're never going to find yourself in a space to where, okay, it's going to be a relationship that you run into and it's going to be somebody that's drama-filled, but they presented themselves as great online, but when you meet them in person, they're going to be full of trauma and they can't get over it. You're going to have some problems. In 2024, I'm going to have some things that I have to overcome. In 2024, maybe even before the end of 2023, you're going to have things that you have to overcome. But that's just life. It rains on the just and the unjust, but we're not going to live it twice. We're going to deal with it. We're going to be proactive and prepare ourselves for if something like that happens, but you're not going to put yourself in a position to where you're not living. You still got to live. You still got to thrive. You still got to have fun. Don't live it before it get there and then live it when it get there. Deal with it when it comes, but be proactive enough to actually prepare yourself for the circumstance if it happens. You can still save your money. You can still make investments and enjoy life at the same time. And it don't even necessarily have to cost you any money to do so. But because you're completely controlled by the things that is happening in your life, a lot of times you prevent yourself. You can't even truly enjoy the man that's for you now that you are the thing that you're looking to attract because you're so focused on how another man treated you when you was in your past. So that man was abusive. So that man may have not been the man that you were supposed to be with. So you've now found yourself in a situation where you got lucky enough to attract the person that you are because you made some accountability or you took some accountability and you made some changes in your life. And so now you're going to subject him to your trauma that you have in the past because you never fully healed. And just because you got yourself together didn't mean that you did all of the work on the mental side to really prepare yourself for what was to come as far as the opportunity and the blessings that come along with it. Life is good. Through all of the bad, through all of the problems, through all of the issues, through all of the trauma, life is good. The trauma is a learning experience. When you burn your hand on a stove, that is your body teaching you that is hot. So it's not that you have to fear stoves. It's now that you become more informed on how you're supposed to leverage and use that stove more effectively in order to make sure that your food is cooked. It don't mean that you got to worry about getting burned. It just means that you need to be a little bit more careful of how you move around stoves. You don't have to be fearful of the stove. You don't have to be fearful of drowning. You have to learn how to get over it, right? You have to learn how to not deal with the people that you've dealt with before that may have had trauma in your life so that you can overcome it and get to another space in your life. You are not to live it 2 and 3 times, 4 and 5 times, 6 and 7 times over. One of the reasons why I tell people to forgive is that they think that forgiveness is for the other person. Forgiveness is for you. Forgiveness is you letting go of the past so that you can start to live based off of your future. Forgiveness, they think that forgiveness is for, I'm not forgiving them. Okay, well, that person is going to move on and still live their lives. You need to forgive them so you can let it go. Don't mean that you have to forget so that you're making dumb decisions going forward. Yes, you are supposed to be more informed. Yes, you're supposed to pay attention. Yes, you're supposed to continue to live your life. But you are supposed to forgive so that A, you can be forgiven according to how you forgive other people, but B, so that you can let it go and start to live your life and be in bliss. You don't want to continue to be hamstrung with all of this stuff that came along with you. When I called all of the women that I've talked to in my past before I got married, and I made sure that we were on good terms and that if they had ever experienced anything that was less than ideal from me, I asked them a question and how can I make up for whatever. I wasn't doing that in order to just make them happy. I was doing that so that I could release myself to be fully available to my wife when I decided to get married from her. You have to forgive yourself. You have to forgive the people that did you wrong. You have to forgive every single thing that came along in your life before. And it doesn't mean that you have to not be informed as a result of it because it was a learning experience, but you have to because it allows for you to continue to move forward with your life and not be worried about how it is that your past is affecting you going in your future. I'm telling you. For all of the people, and this is one of the reasons why I asked the question when we first come on the live stream, how y'all feeling? Where y'all at? What you do for a living? Where you live at? What's your general sentiment? How are you feeling about life? I do the same thing when we meet up in person. When we do the Patreon meetups and I meet up in person, I tap into y'all, I hold y'all, I shake y'all hand, I give you a hug, I want to feel your energy because I want to understand where you at and how it is that you can leave here a better person or in a better position had you not seen me that day. I want to know where y'all at today. I want to know what you feeling. I got to understand where my people is at because I have to get you over that space because all of the information that I give you will be for nothing if you do not know how to leverage it correctly because you're so busy worried and looking in the rear view instead of looking forward and looking through your windshield. We going up and forward, up and forward, up and forward. Even with this, I see people in the chat saying, hey, Richard Fain's still feeling some type of way. Richard Fain is feeling some type of way because I uncovered some issues within himself. And now he's having a come to Jesus moment and it's hard for him to then reconcile, but he going to have to deal with that. He got to deal with the hypocrisy and then he got to forgive himself and move forward because he knew that he was wrong when he came at me in the first place and I never had nothing negative to say about him. So now I've moved on and I don't care. I ain't checking for Richard. I don't expect to do a live stream with him. I don't have nothing against him. I think that he gives great information. I think that he's genuinely a good person, but I think that you guys need to let that man leave him alone. Don't send him no emails. Don't sit there and have no conversations about anything negative about him. Don't be holding him accountable. He know who he is. That's a 55-year-old man. Let him deal with that. He got to deal with it. Once he deal with it, he going to learn how to get over it and he going to start to move forward instead of worrying about me every single live stream that he do. Let that man heal. Y'all leave that man alone. Don't keep bothering Richard Fain. Richard Fain is a good dude. He never did nothing to nobody. I think that he was a hypocrite when he was talking to me, but that ain't got nothing to do with me as a person. That ain't got nothing to do with him as a person. Let that man do what he gonna do. Leave him alone, man. Leave Rich alone. He is a cool guy. He never did nothing to nobody. He never took no dollars from nobody. Let that man breathe. But he's dealing with something within himself that is causing him to feel a certain type of way every single time that he drop a video or he go live because he feels some type of way, right? So let that man go. If you a fan of me or if you rocking with me over at the Millionaire Morning Show, do not bother Richard Fain. Let him do his thing. He is a good guy and let him deal with whatever it is that he's dealing with. We got to forgive. We got to keep going. Sometimes people don't even do nothing to us. We just feel a certain type of way. When I dealt with the Richard Fain situation, I did it. I kept it moving. I ain't got nothing to say about that man. I don't feel nothing about that guy. I ain't even throw no attack at him personally. I just called out the hypocrisy that came along with how he was criticizing me. I don't feel no type of way about it. Let's just keep it moving. Everybody is cool. Everybody is chill. We had our little tussle or a little disagreement. It wasn't even nothing major. Let that man breathe. Y'all got to let stuff go. If I bring somebody to the front of the congregation and I criticize a specific talking point that they make online, leave it at that. Don't take it personal. He good. We good. Everybody is good. We straight. Learn to forgive yourself. Learn to forgive yourself. Learn to forgive the people of your past. Don't live it twice and start moving in abundance and not based off of you moving in duress from your past. Learn to move in abundance. Enjoy the moment. If something happens to you, deal with it accordingly and move forward. We moving forward in abundance, not in the past. So for all of y'all that said that y'all was feeling some type of way, forgive yourself, forgive anything that happened to you, and move on. Somebody said, was it an attack or just an indifference of opinion? I think it was an indifference of opinion on my part. He started to attack me personally. I showed the hypocrisy, and then we moved on. We moved on. All right? Ayo Jet, you said it's hard to forgive. Remember, if you saying that it's hard to forgive, then you're saying it's hard to forgive for yourself. Forgiveness is for you. It's not just for the other person. Forgiveness is for you. It's not just for the other person. Let it go. Let it go. It does not help you to hold on to anything or hold a grudge against anybody. Let it go. It does not help you. If you want to do the thing that's in your best interest, let it go. I made up in my mind, unless it's worthy of me or it benefits me, I seen that Richard Fain opportunity as an opportunity that benefits me. If it doesn't benefit me, I don't even address people no more. I don't care what nobody say about me. I look at it as an opportunity for me to continue to get more visibility because I'm reaching another audience that may have not been familiar with me. Let them talk. Let them say whatever it is that they want to say. Let them rock. And then you take that opportunity and you leverage it in order to really take advantage of the fact that you got more eyes on you. Don't worry about it. Let it go. Let it go. All right? All right, let's get started with the show. Let me give a shout out to the early supporters of the show. Mike, that dude, is in the building. Sent that 10 ball on Cash App. Jeffrey Adar. I appreciate you, big dog. Thank you for continuing to hold me down. For Dante Daniels says, for the corporate America chick apartment hunting. Y'all crazy. Let me acknowledge a couple of the super chats and we're going to get started with the show. Sportsaholic Gerard says Detroit Lions are a spray of cologne on top of the BO known as the Detroit Pistons. Oh, tell me about it, fam. I don't even want to talk about it. I don't even want to go to the Denver game tonight. I almost considered giving away my tickets today, fam. Brian Isaac says, I like my weekends, but I always feel some disappointment that I cannot see in a new edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I'm always checking the Anton Daniels channel for the reaction vids on the weekends. Shout out to my people holding me down. Thank you, Ryan Isaac, for the 20 ball. Christian West says, update from the prayers on Thursday. Pass the run and an official offer is expected this week. Thanks again for the game from the Patreon and the prayers. Chasers. Shout out to all of the chasers. Shout out to everybody that is successful. Shout out to all of the prayers. We prayed right here online when Christian West says, pray for me. Shout out to you. Congratulations. If you're not a part of the Patreon, link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Congratulations, my friend. Christian West, I love that. P. Shank in the building says, good morning, Mr. Anton Daniels. I like your shows, your other shows, but I find it difficult to watch Fight Club because people do not cam up. Enjoy your day. I don't run Fight Club. I got a new announcement and some new changes that's going to come to that platform, but I'm not ready to announce it yet. I'm going to announce it in December. Do y'all see me over there? It's just a platform. Don't worry about it. If it's for you, it's for you. If it's not, it's not. Black Silver Chairs in the building says, God is using you this morning to speak to me, Anton. That is exactly how I've been feeling these days. I escaped poverty and I'm scared to go back. Your best days is ahead of you, Black Silver Chair. Your best days are ahead of you, not behind you. It's ahead of you, big dog. Gangsta of Love says, how much did you save up while, I'm guessing you meant to say while living at home? I didn't save, I invested. So I believe that every dollar should be working for you. And so I leveraged every piece of information, every dollar, everything that I can muster my hands on, every dollar that I made, even from a business perspective, I've reinvested it back into the business. I did not live off of my regular salary when my regular salary was all reinvested into businesses and real estate. And so I accumulated a net worth. It wasn't a savings. It was a net worth. And so I generated enough money through 2017. 2019 is when I actually retired from corporate America. A lot of you guys are familiar with that. And I left my job and I had enough money to live for the rest of my life. And so then I decided that I want to live a certain lifestyle for the rest of my life. So it's a difference. I don't think it's a number. It's a number. It's a comfortability that comes along with it. I will say it's in the millions. 187 says, Richard going to be mad when all of his following become bag chasers. It's better to align with people than to make enemies. I think Richard is going to be fine. I think that there is space for Richard and me. I think that he's a good guy. We just had a difference of opinion. Make sure you tap into that Teach Hanley, 30% off your first order plus a free gift. Tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. November 26th, I'm posting that today. November 26th, we are doing the Invest in Your Business series where you guys basically come up, pitch me your businesses. And I will be giving up to $20,000 in individual donations for you guys to be able to vet out your business ideas more effectively. If they are good ideas, you got to be a part of the Chasers. It is this Sunday. This Sunday, I will be giving you the times inside of the Patreon. The flyer goes up inside of the Patreon today. It is going to be a live stream for you guys to be able to pitch your businesses. You have to be a bag chaser in order to do so. If your business is actually a decent idea, then I will give you $1,000 to $2,000 in order to vet out your idea more effectively. And I will give you that out in the beginning of the month. All right. So shout out to the chasers. Let me read one more super chat and then we're going to get started with the show. Maurice Moore says, launched my medical scrub line a month ago, Detroit at Suited Scrubs. Although I haven't made a sale, I'm enjoying the journey of learning. Thanks for the inspiration. Hopefully we can get you a little bit of money over there in the bag chasers if it makes sense from a business perspective in order for you to be able to vet out your idea. All right, y'all ready to get focused? Y'all ready to get focused? I got 4 interviews. Shout out to you, Peter Investor. I got 4 interviews that I recorded over the last 2 weeks, including one with Detroit Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick. And I got all of his political expertise on a lot of the different things that's happening in society today. Yaki Awaken. I got a lot of music executives. I got a lot of content. I got some people coming next weekend, not this weekend because I'm letting them do their thing for Thanksgiving. I got a lot of stuff that I'm releasing inside of the Bag Chasers, unedited, unfiltered, all right? So if y'all want that content again, we do a lot of things in the Bag Chasers. We release full interviews that will never, ever be available in its entirety on YouTube or any other platform. We invest in your business. We talk money. We do meetups. We do a lot of different things. So I'm excited. Again, make sure y'all tap into that Teach Hanley, 30% off your first order plus a free gift. I'll be reading super chats throughout the show. Let's get it popping. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Quick Hits. Quick Hits are things that we want to bring to the front of the congregation or we want to talk about, but it may not necessarily deserve a full segment dedicated to it. So we just going to tap in real quick, keep you guys updated on what's going on. First and foremost, let me give you the final news as it relates to the UAW strike. UAW says 64% of the workers vote to ratify the Detroit 3 contracts. So much for that idea. I guess I'll just read the article. So, the United Auto Workers Union said Monday that 64% of workers at Detroit 3 automakers voted to ratify new contracts. The votes locked in the UAW's tentative agreements with automakers through April 2028, which is 4.5 years basically, which include a 25% increase in base wages and will cumulatively raise the top wage by 33% compounded with estimated cost of living adjustments of over $42 an hour. So today, the top wage is $32 an hour, but with cost of living adjustments, COLA, and their raise, it should go up to about $42 an hour. The ratification is a relief for the automakers after the strike halted production at various plants across the U.S. A rejection could have led to new strikes and pressure from the UAW leaders for more costly contracts. Despite the opposition from workers at some major facilities, UAW members voted to ratify the contract by a nearly 2/3 margin. Now, there was some plants, ladies and gentlemen, that basically rejected it. And a lot of those plants, once you start doing a deep dive, were a lot of older workers. Well, Anton, how are the older workers the ones that's rejecting it? Because what's happening was the older workers didn't feel like they got enough, and they didn't necessarily care about the newer employees that were looking to get hired in and then get all of the adjustments as far as COLA and the highest wage and everything like that, right? So the older workers wanted pensions. They felt like Sean Fain was basically pitching something as far as the highest increase that he wasn't able to deliver and that the automakers was never going to go for. And so now you see a lot of dissension amongst it, but they are all back to work. And apparently there were more younger workers and older workers that actually agree with this. So that's what's happening. Votes in favor of the agreement from workers from some parts of the components operations who stand to get substantial raises as they move to higher pay classification outweigh votes against the contract from some veteran workers. They said after years of cutbacks, months of our stand-up campaign, and weeks on the picket line, we've turned the tide to the American worker, Sean Fain said. Here's the thing, though. Ford has estimated that the new contract will add $850 to $900 on labor costs per vehicle. The new contract, Ford specifically is estimating that it's basically going to add $1,000 more to the cost of manufacturing the vehicle. So where is that going to go? It is going to be passed over into Ta-da! The consumer. And this is one of the factors that goes into personal inflation. Meaning that if you have to pay them additional $42 an hour, cost of living adjustments, more contributions into the 401k, raising their wage rates for new workers and new hires that no longer are coming in under the second tier, having a faster pathway in order for them to have full employment, well, it's going to cost you the equivalent of about $1,000 per vehicle and costs in order to make sure that these vehicles are paid for. It said, thankfully, we are on track to reach full production schedules in the coming days at our assembly plants in Michigan, Kentucky, and Illinois that were affected during the strike, Ford CEO said. About 55% of the votes cast by GM members were in favor of the New Deal, while 69% of Ford members and 68% of Stellantis workers who voted supported the agreement, according to the UAW vote tracker. There's also a saying or a rumor out there, and I don't know how true it is, that 34% of the UAW itself didn't even vote. 34%, there's a rumor that's saying 34% of UAW members didn't even vote on the deal at all. So, on another front, Diddy and Cassie settled their suit. Let me bring that to the front and so you guys can get a little bit of a summary if you were living under a rock over the weekend, ladies and gentlemen.
And just a day after music mogul Sean Diddy Combs was accused of sexual assault and years of abuse in a new lawsuit filed by R&B singer Cassie, word of a settlement overnight. ABC's Morgan Norwood is here with the update. Good morning, Morgan.
Hey, good morning to you, Ariel. Though Cassie and Diddy did not detail the terms of that agreement, the settlement quickly shuts down the potential for a trial and the process of legal discovery. That's when evidence in the case is often made public.
I thought I told you that we won't stop. I thought I told you that we won't stop.
Overnight, hip-hop mogul Sean Combs settling a bombshell sexual abuse lawsuit filed by his ex-girlfriend, fellow singer Cassie. Cassandra Ventura writing in a statement, "I have decided to resolve this matter amicably on terms that I have some level of control. I want to thank my family, fans, and lawyers for their unwavering support." Combs, known as Diddy or Puff Daddy, adding in his own statement, "I wish Cassie and her family all the best. Love."
We going up, we going live.
So hold on, let me see something really quickly. So let me share something with y'all. Before I get my thoughts on this, let me see something. Now watch this. So what I like to do a lot of times before I present to you guys any kind of clips or any kind of articles whatsoever, I like to look at sources from different news organizations before I share it with you guys. Now watch this. I'm going to play this first one, and then I'm going to play a second one, and tell me if you notice any similarities.
And just a day after music mogul Sean Diddy Combs was accused of sexual assault and years of abuse in a new lawsuit filed by R&B singer Cassie, word of a settlement overnight. ABC's more.
Now y'all hear that one? Now watch this one.
Just a day after music mogul Sean Diddy Combs was accused of sexual assault and years of abuse in a new lawsuit by R&B singer Cassie comes word of an overnight settlement. ABC's Morgan Norwood has the update.
Listen to that. Y'all see that? Look, watch this.
And just a day after music mogul Sean Diddy Combs was accused.
Just a day after music mogul Sean Diddy Combs was accused of sexual.
Who is writing all of this? It don't matter if it's the biggest at the top or if it's this local news all at the bottom. It's literally word for word the same words. It's word for word the exact same script that they're reading at all the news organizations. Have y'all noticed that? And I don't know if it's just because I'm starting to look at different sources and I'm comparing all across the board. And I'm starting to hear the same things. And so it just clicked off on me today before I showed it to y'all guys. And I said, let me put this off this. And they all from different, like it could be a CNN, it could be an MSNBC, it could be, ABC, and it could be NBC over here. And they be having all of the same scripts. And I'm like, I thought that CNN was more liberal, but then Fox News was supposed to be more conservative. Why are they all leading off with the same script? I don't like that. I don't like that at all. That bothers me, honestly. But anyways, she was alleging sexual abuse. I went through the 35-page document, and I have mixed feelings about it. And the mixed feelings that I have from it was this, right? One thing that we don't want to do is we don't want to victim shame, right? But then at the same time, it was all alleged. And so it's hard for me to really draw a conclusion outside of the fact that I believe that it didn't open the floodgates and that he made a mistake by letting her eventually file a lawsuit in the first place if he was going to settle it. But then the flip side of me is saying, well, why would he settle it? And then the other side of me says, but it could be much more detrimental to his reputation once they go through discovery if he has other things in his closet, even if some of it wasn't true. And then the other side of me is saying, but if she was doing it for all women, and why would she settle it, and why wouldn't she go through with it? And then on the flip side, I say, okay, but it was a civil suit instead of a criminal suit. And then you see what I'm saying? It's like, it's so much conflicting thoughts. And I know that people want you to be on one side, or this group wants you to be on this side. But the reality is that there's so many layers to it, and I think that they are all demonic. I think that they all fake. I'm not looking at Cassie as no hero. That's the biggest thing here. Okay, so who didn't know that Diddy was a part of the organization or a high, you know what I'm saying, in a high position of power that was leveraging his celebrity and his money and his net worth and his power and his connections in order to do what he wanted to do? As though that was a secret. That's not a secret. Like, it's the biggest open secret. And everybody around him, including his former bodyguards, is on the internet telling all of his stories. It took for what, Cassie to file a lawsuit in order for y'all to then start to feel some type of way about it? The other part of it is that what makes y'all think that Cassie is y'all hero? Not Cassie, just me and you, me and you. What about Ryan Leslie? Did she apologize to Ryan Leslie for leaving him and then going over there and knocking off Diddy? Taking a whole load, cutting the side of her hair off? Ryan Leslie was the one that founded her. Ryan Leslie was the Harvard graduate. He the one that got left out in the cold. Don't nobody feel nothing for Ryan, though. Ain't nobody tripping about Ryan. What? Okay, so you telling me that Diddy had more control over her than her parents? So she was raised in a two-parent household. She had good parents, but nobody was actually going to hold her accountable for taking the money and doing all of the trips and living in the apartments, and her parents didn't have no say-so on her life, but all of a sudden it was manipulation. Come on, man. Listen. This is why it's hard for Tom Dog to go and get his $30 million deal. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not going for it in the same way that y'all going for it. I'm not looking at it the same way that y'all looking at it. Listen, I believe that he was possibly had some monsterish stuff in him. I believe that some of it was embellished in order to make it even worse than it really was. I also believe that he has some additional things in his closet that he don't want to come out. He's nasty, especially if it's even remotely true that he was hiring other dudes with BBCs to come down and bust up his chick. He's nasty as piss. The other side of it is, I do not think she innocent. I think that they was running low on money. She decided to go and have a kid with another dude that apparently ain't getting the bag, and that she tapped in on Diddy and said, I want my money. Yes. Absolutely. So I'm not going for it. That's where I stand on that. And then finally, so many box office bombs. If you guys are invested in any theater stocks, AMC, any of that stuff, get out. They are largely dependent on the industry that is dying. All the new box office movies underperformed in November, and it disappointed everybody that had a vested interest in it. Said after a disappointing opening for the Marbles last week, 4 new wide releases tried to offer something for everyone, but only one of the new movies even came close to expectations, according to the box office. The decision by Lionsgate to go back to the well with the Hunger Games, an adaptation and a prequel to the young hit to the adult book series, grossed nearly to the series that originally grossed nearly $3 billion worldwide. They made 5.8 million Thursday previews, opening a 19.1 million Friday. Ultimately, the Hunger Games prequel ended up only making $44 million over the weekend, which is less than what the Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2 made in 2015, even though it received a B+ cinema score. DreamWorks animation sequel Trolls Band Together. They made $30 million on the opening weekend. Wish, they opened Eli Roth's Thanksgiving film, opened to 4th place with an estimated 10.2 million. And so the box office is trash. Nobody is going to the theaters anymore. Whereas a lot of these shows and these movies that they would spend $200 million, $300 million making, they used to make $100 million in the first opening weekend. That's not happening anymore. It's not happening anymore. And so now everything is bombing. If you are invested in any movie stocks, I suggest you get out of there ASAP, all right? And that is your quick hits for today. Let's go ahead and get started with the show, ladies and gentlemen. First on the docket is, I don't know what's wrong with Illinois. I don't know. Is this something in the water? Y'all was worried about Flint water. Y'all should have been worried about the water over there in Chicago and Illinois. I know Dolton is only like 15 minutes away, right? Dolton is like 15 minutes away from Chicago. Tiff, I know you watching this. I know you can see it. I know your people looking at it. You didn't get back to me, Tiff. Your people hit me up. We were going back and forth. Shout out to your assistant. Seemed like a very, very, very nice woman. But I don't know why y'all didn't just hit me back up. I could have helped you. I could have did some things in your favor, Tiff. I largely like to say that I was one of the ones responsible for blowing this story up, and that people kept telling me, oh, that's old. I said, no, we need to revisit this. Next thing you know, everybody want to talk about what's going over there in Dolton. Dolton ain't even a big town. Now Dolton is on a map for the wrong reasons. Y'all should have let me know what was going on. Holla at me. You tried to play defense and now you're not playing offense. You know what I'm saying? Tiff, hit me up. We can fix this, baby. Tiff, hit me up. We can fix this, baby. Holla at me, man. Because the city, the town, yo, Dolton Trustees YouTube channel is posting videos against you. The trustees in the city of Dolton is posting videos about you. Now, when you have a platform, you can kind of clap back or you can try to clarify it a little bit differently, especially if you're innocent. But you don't have no chance if you don't have no platform. And so I'm your best hope. Holla at me, baby. Tiff. I got you, Tiff. Is my left eye working the way it's supposed to? Y'all tell me in the chat, is my left eye working? See how I'm blinking? Tiff, I got you, baby. Holla at me, girl. Look. They saying that you leveraging the police force in order to get back at your enemies. I don't think you got no police that can travel over here to Detroit, so I should be all right. I don't think you got anybody in the police force over there in Dolton, because I'm not a Dolton resident, that can come and holler at me. You can't be running the whole city like the mob. All right. Let me just go ahead and... This is what the trustees is posting about her, all right? I didn't post it. This is what her friends over there in the trustees is saying, all right?
We really think the trustees did an excellent job at the November 6th board meeting. Well, the 4 who were mentally present at least. Unfortunately, there were 2 who didn't quite understand what was happening. Stan Brown showed off his reading skills by wasting our time for 15 minutes while he read the township newsletter front to back for reasons unknown. Maybe he wanted us to know he does more than just riding a bike. Andrew Holmes managed to go on 2 rants relating to roofs and windows for seniors. He actually blamed the other trustees for the reason the seniors will have strokes and heart attacks because the windows and roofs are letting heat out. Seriously, this happened. Let's
Listen. This site is the Dolton Trustees site. They got a little over 2,000 subscribers. They probably had less than 1,000 subscribers before we started really having these conversations about this chick, right? Dolton Trustees YouTube channel is reading this and typing this out and putting these YouTube videos together. Let's see what they got to say.
watch.
We move forward with paying these vendors. You know, winter is coming. Seniors need their windows, they need their roofs. You know, how would you feel in a cold house? How many calls are the fire department of Dolton going to get called to a residence because someone's having a stroke, someone having a heart attack because the blood pressure is going up because they're cold? How many children's got to lay in the bedroom and be cold?
I don't know how many children's got to lay in the bed because they're cold. Hey, who's electing these people to have these conversations? I'm just curious. Who is picking these people to be your trustees, your city council members, your mayors, and they can't even communicate effectively with the people? What are y'all spending y'all time on? Honestly, just curious.
Leaking. We need to pay that vendor. First and foremost, we need to think about the health of our seniors and the people in the village. Some people working, some people doing fine. They got good heat. Others, they don't have heat because the windows are not there and the roofs are not there and the heat is going straight up out the house.
Thankfully, Trustee Jason House was paying attention and let Trustee Holmes know his comments were completely irrelevant and had nothing to do with the warrant list that was being voted on.
Okay, there's on this list specifically, there is nothing to do with windows or roofs or nobody being removed. That has absolutely nothing to do with this.
Trustee House then went on to explain the items he was questioning, which were special to say the least.
Some of the items that we're talking about: Aurelio's Pizza, $131. Best Western, apparently 2 rooms for $318. Chicago Midway Airport, $200 worth of tax dollars spent on that. Cooper's Hawk, $557.68.
Cooper, have y'all ever been to Cooper's Hawk? Has anybody ever been to Cooper's Hawk? It is a great place to congregate, have some food. They have a great wine selection. Mwah. Cooper's Hawk is awesome. So the city of Dolton is suffering, and they having a budget crisis, and they running a deficit, and somebody got the city credit card and they running it up. Somebody got the city credit card and they running it up. Yeah. Look at Rita. Rita love Cooper's Hawk. Somebody ran it up. They said we got $567.68 being sent there. Who is using a city credit card like they own personal piggy bank? Who in God's name is using a city credit card like they ain't got no sense?
Got Dollar Tree on here, $108. Dunkin' Donuts, $49.58. What else we got? Where else did we eat at? Holiday Inn in Bloomington, 2, 4, 6, 7 rooms, $2,694. Image One, Italian Fiesta, $113.59. Jewel Osco, $100.50. Olive Garden, $262.78.
Not the Olive Garden. Yo, I didn't know if they were showing my credit card bill or her credit card bill out here in these streets. You know what I'm saying? And they spent $100. How many you spent $150 at the Dollar Tree? $150 at the Dollar Tree. They got 150 items. Oh, man. They said we at the motel, hotel, Holiday Inn. Say what? If you then you bring her friend. Girl, you want to go to the hotel. You heard I'm gonna give you my room key. If you wanna go to the hotel, Rudy. If you wanna go to my hotel, holler at me. We having an after party. We gonna be here till 6 in the morning. Oh no. Oh no. We're 6 to the morning. To the morning. Girl, you wanna. She said, hold on. How much they spent at the hotel, motel, Holiday Inn? Say what?
Got Dollar Tree on here, $108. Dunkin' Donuts, $49.58. What else we got? Where else did we eat at? Holiday Inn in Bloomington, 2, 4, 6, 7 rooms, $2,694.
They was running it up. They said, yo, you want to come to my hotel? Oh, this is why I love this show. This is why I love this show, man. They said, we got 7 rooms, $2,700. Bloomington? Fam, you could have drove there and drove back. It's crazy.
Image 1, Italian Fiesta, $113.59. Jewel Osco, $100.50. Olive Garden, $262.78. Pete's Fresh Market, $212.97. Let's see if we ate anywhere else. Thank me later, $520.
He said, thank me later. Hey, somebody find out who this guy's name is. I want to get him on the show. We got to get this guy on there this week. And we will be live streaming every day this week, Monday through Friday. Thanksgiving, Friday morning, the day after. We are live streaming every day. We don't miss. Somebody find this guy's name and get it to me. Send it to me in my email, AntonDaniels413@gmail.com. Get in touch with him and tell him, Anton, I need to talk to him. I need to see what's going on over there.
Walmart, $11.11. Good Lord. Wyndham Hotel and Resorts, 2, 4, 6, 8 rooms, totaled up to $1,085. All this, no receipts given to the myself or the other trustees that have mentioned. Again, it has nothing to do with denying a resident some service. We need receipts to understand what's going on. I conclude.
All right. So I'm going to conclude with this. That's not true on your statement you just made. And when people read stuff into record, you guys, go get clarity of what it is. Just for...
She says she got the same water as Anton. She got her Fiji. She got her Bubba Gump shrimp hap up there. And she going to let you know, listen, ain't nothing like a black woman that is angry. And she don't believe that you accurately painting the picture. Talk to him, Tiff.
The record, y'all do know that we have prisoners that we feed, right? But I shouldn't have to sit up here and break all this down as though y'all just think it's the administration. It is not. Y'all do know we help homeless people. Y'all do know we help residents, right? But y'all don't know.
From Cooper's Hawk. From Cooper's Hawk. And the hotel, motel, Holiday Inn. Yeah, this is crazy.
Ask them questions. Y'all do know we rent hotels for people. We got all these things, but why do I have to always try to justify what it is we're doing here? Why? Because people that don't do none, you never see, never active, get up here and just say things out, but never give you no clarity of what department it is. Each item that's on our thing, it has a code. It tells you which department spent the money. It tells you that. Again, I keep telling you the day-to-day operation. Yes, I'm the overseer of the village, but the management handles their own department, spends their own money, and they put it on a warrant list and give it to the board. But yet people got to do a spin of what they think it is, but don't ask no legitimate questions, because I've asked the same questions on sometimes when I read it. And when I read it, I get clarity. And I say, oh, okay, y'all went and y'all bought the inmates McDonald's or pizza or whatever they bought. I'm just getting that as an example because I had to learn too. So they should learn before they make judgment or just put things out there and don't have no facts. That's what I mean by not having facts.
All right. Then we will ask the residents, like the mayor said, Who are the homeless Dolton residents that the super-duper mayor has helped by taking them down to Bloomington, Illinois, and got them a hotel room. Actually, 8 hotel rooms, along with multiple expensive fancy meals. We're also curious to know which inmate she fed at Cooper's Hawk. As far as we know, and we do know as a fact, prisoner meals consist of McDonald's. That's all, nothing more. Not only did the super-duper narcissistic mayor lie to the residents by making herself appear as charitable and generous by helping the homeless, but she threw her department heads under a very large, very criminal-looking bus.
This is the Dolton Trustees YouTube channel. Literally. Yo, what kind of infighting is this? Let me let this rest of this play.
We want to caution her employees to think twice about the loyalty offered to her. She just showed the world she has no shame in blaming you for her wrongdoing. She will use tax dollars to pay her Dolton police security detail on overtime who drive the very expensive township vehicles to run you over and over again. We're sure it's just a coincidence these downstate expenditures for fancy meals and hotels happened at the exact same time that your own charitable foundation happened to be doing a 5-day walk to Springfield.
Listen, y'all. Listen. Tiff, baby. Let me just give you a piece of advice, babe. When you have this level of scrutiny and this many eyes on you, first of all, it's self-inflicted. There's no reason why a small town like Dolton should have this many eyes on them, and it's all because you were boastful and you didn't move accordingly, specifically knowing that you had these type of problems and these issues in your backyard. Look, the only time that you can be boastful and all of that is when you ain't got nothing to hide. That's the only time that you can be arrogant, boastful, is when people, and even then, people are still going to have to come. They're going to still come for you. So you got to expect for that, because when you start to be a lot more boastful, or when you start to be a lot more visible, it then invites scrutiny. And if you can't handle that, don't have a meltdown. Don't start twisting your neck up. Don't start getting mad at people. You're going to have to start leaning into that. You got to lean into it. If you're going to go that way, then lean into it. And if you're not ready to have that conversation about what you spent at a Cooper's Hawk, then don't go to Cooper's Hawk. My advice to you would be to not go to Cooper's Hawk. That's probably not a good idea considering that everything that's happening right now. Tell all of your administration heads, whoever is the head of the department, head of security, don't go to Cooper's Hawk. It's not a good idea. Don't get 7 hotel rooms at the Holiday Inn. Don't go and get a whole bunch of hotel rooms. You probably don't need to travel. Whatever it is that you need to just lay low, work your butt off, highlight all of the things that you do and you change and that you evolve into, and then admit that you probably made a mistake by being too visible, and then make the adjustments. Because I'm telling you, all this is going to do is continue to invite scrutiny. It is. My people saying that y'all should probably stop cursing so much in the chat because it's holding it for review. And then the moderators are going to have to release it depending on whether or not you said anything that's too harsh. But the chat is holding it for review when you curse in the chat. So you got to be careful with some of the words that you say because it's holding it for review. That's what my people are saying on in the chat. All right. But I'm telling you, Tiff, you gotta lay low, baby. Baby girl, you got to lay low. You can't be out here going to Cooper's Hawk unless you're paying for it yourself. If you paying for it yourself, then move accordingly. But you can't be out here running up a $500-$600 bill at Cooper's Hawk and don't even have no groceries in your own refrigerator and think that's going to fly. Come on, man. And even if you don't get in trouble, like on a whole nother level, Dolton and the city don't want you out here flaunting and causing the city to look bad. And then the voters is going to remember that, and then you ain't going to have no job next year. You know what I'm saying? So be careful, bro. Just be very, very careful that you can actually justify some of the things that you're doing. Jones FX 426 says, Operation Mockingbird is in effect. Shout out to you, my friend. I appreciate you. My dog, John Lott, in the building. Mr. Lott says, what kind of prisoner gets bubblegum shrimp? Facts. You know what I'm saying? Somebody said, I promise you she just left the Gucci store bumping Young Dolph. Shout out to my dog, Mr. Lott. Messi says, hey, Anton, ask Tiffany, can I go to the beauty supply house with the Dolton credit card? Facts, you know what I'm saying? And to Target real quick, though. I'll be right back with it. We're going to run it up. Y'all got to stop using that company credit card for personal expenses. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the people. Again, remember that we're doing a Invest in Your Business series on Sunday, the 26th, this week, for the people that is in the Bag Chasers. It's in the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Also, teach Hanley 30% off your first order plus a free gift. The Invest in Your Business series is people to pitch their businesses. We give you constructive criticism. And then if it's a good enough idea, then we send you $1,000 to $2,000, depending on whatever it is that you may need in order to vet your business idea out more effectively. We do not take any equity into your business. We just giving it to you as a kind gesture. If you want to know how it goes, the pitch process, we've done it previously. I've funded plenty of people's businesses, or funded at least the vetting out of whether or not the business makes sense. So go ahead and tap into the Patreon. That is my gift to you. Shout out to Tia Marie, too, in the building, says Dolton is the makings of a good reality show. It's crazy, man. Tia, it's crazy out here in these Dolton streets. You know what I'm saying? Let me go ahead and get started. So it was somebody that went viral over the weekend, because we want to go down a certain path today. Somebody that went viral over this past weekend, and it was a pretty girl. Pretty girl. When I went to her Instagram and her TikTok, because I always like to source out the original video instead of people that steal somebody else's video and act like they came up with it. I hate that. That's one thing that I absolutely hate. I don't like when people take other people's videos and other people's content and then they post it on their own Instagram or their own TikTok as though it's theirs. Give the people credit that actually are saying or doing, or at least link back to them or something like that. Stop stealing other people's content for views and visibility and then trying to get your numbers up that's not original to you. If you're not reacting to something, if you're not giving additional context, if it's not significantly transformed to where you're actually then adding value into the conversation that was already being had, and then also, again, making sure that you cite your sources. Stop stealing other people's content and acting like it's yours, putting a whole nother caption over it, and then acting like you know the chick. That's not your content. Tell the people that's not your content. Or at least get some credit and link to them. You know what? Honestly, I see my content all over the place and people be acting like it's theirs. It's like, yo, at least tag me in it. At least tag me in it. Good God. Come on, man. All right, so let me go ahead and bring this up. Baby girl, her name is Sai, I believe. She went into what's going on in the school systems.
I'm calling out all the parents. If you're a parent and your child is in pre-K to elementary school to high school, I'm calling you out. The children today, I have never experienced, and I'm 22.
Shout out to the Dolton. Hold on, before we continue on with this. Shout out to the Dolton trustees. Hey, hit me up. Email me. Anton Daniels 413 at gmail.com. Anton Daniels 413 at gmail.com. I would love to have you guys on the show this week, next week, whenever it is that you guys want to give me some insight. I appreciate you guys for continuing to tune into the show. Shout out to the Dolton trustees in the building. Y'all email me. All right, let's continue over with the show.
Having to teach and work with you guys as children has been the most traumatic experience of my life. I teach 5-year-olds ballet. 5-year-old girls ballet. I have a class of 10 students. They don't respect any authority. You ask them, can you stand in your designated spot? They're telling you no and shut up. They're throwing things at each other. They're throwing things at other people, other classmates. You say, can everybody sit in their spot? I don't want to. I'm not doing that. You don't get to tell me what to do. You're not my mom. You confront the parent. The parent tries to argue with you and fuss at you because you tried to reprimand and redirect their kid. I told a young little girl, please sit in your spot. You're not my mom. You don't tell me what to do. Okay. When her mom came to pick her up, I said, hey, your daughter's having a hard time following instructions, and 7 times today I've had to redirect her to just sit in her spot. Well, clearly she didn't want to sit, and mind you, this is a mom. Clearly she didn't want to fucking sit right there. So, I mean, if she's telling you she don't want to do something, why keep asking her to do it? You know she's not going to do it.
I see somebody in the chat, they said, but they 5 though. I see somebody else in the chat that says, oh, you can't handle 10 kids? She's clearly explaining to you, for example, how she just illustrated how she had a conversation with the mother, and the mother went off on her because her child is trash. When I see stuff like that, and this is one of the reasons why I like to do it live, because I want to see y'all sentiment. That it gives y'all an opportunity not to read somebody else's comment and then be able to form your opinion based off of that. I get to see it in real time, right? Y'all are trash parents. Forget her fingernails. Forget how long her nails is. She's talking about something that's meaningful. She's talking about children that have no home training, and then it makes it difficult for them to be able to treat. Y'all focused on the wrong things. Y'all focused on the wrong things. Y'all so busy trying to point out what's wrong with somebody instead of paying attention to the message. The biggest problem that we have in our society today is the fact that there are no real parents. There are too many fatherless homes. Too many women are having children with men that are not going to be in a household with them. When I keep telling y'all and having conversations with y'all about the importance of 2-parent homes, you keep telling me about how it is that it's good and that it's going to be okay and that you can do what you want to do when you want to do it. Well, your children are the ones that didn't pay the price of your stupid decisions because y'all focusing on the wrong things. If she can't even go to the parents, let me tell you something, bro. If my daughter's teacher got to come to me or come to her mother, or if her mother have to escalate it up to me, that something happened where my daughter is unruly or not in order or making it difficult for the teacher to do their job, me and her gonna have a hard conversation. And I'm pretty sure y'all know what hard conversation means. We gonna have a very, very hard conversation when she get home. Because the teachers are not there to be over-glorified babysitters. They're there to teach. My daughter was so good at 5 years old. She used to get all kind of stars on her head. And oh my God, she's such a good person. She's such a great helper. What's wrong with y'all? Ain't nobody there to fix your bad kids. It gets worse. Let's continue.
What world do we live in? Like, what in you guys' brain as a parent says, my kid not following any directions is a great thing. It's not that serious, and y'all don't have a right to tell her what to do. It's sad. It's sad. It's really, really sad. And another thing that's heart-wrenching is horrifying. It is horrifying. Your 5-year-old daughters are asking to listen to Pound Town and Ski Yee. Your 5-year-old daughters are asking, can we hear Pound Town? I'm playing them Princess Tiana ballet music. And they are asking me, can we hear Pound?
When somebody else is more passionate about your children than you, then you know we have a real, real problem in our society. When somebody else heartstrings and they're more passionate about your children than you are, we have a huge, huge problem. And then y'all sit here and y'all have conversations with me and you keep saying, oh, rap music is not bad. It doesn't influence us. It doesn't affect how we gonna do things. Your 5-year-old daughters, little girls, are looking up to Booty Hole Brown Pound Town, Ski. They get it from you. Everything that we do in this lifetime is a learned behavior. Everything, listen, these are the same women that's going to have a YouTube platform 15 years from now. They're going to be 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 years old, and they're going to be twisting their neck, clacking their nails with BBLs, butterfly eyelashes, and God knows what the new thing is going to be then. And they're going to be having conversations and telling you and instructing you and giving you, and they're going to be going off on your sons about dating advice, and they're going to be telling you that they life coaches and book a session. They're going to be going off on y'all and telling y'all book a session and send a super chat. And they're going to be telling y'all with they 5 little bad kids running around about how men ain't no good. Holding men accountable. And you think that the teachers are the ones that's supposed to fix the students instead of the parents parenting the kids so that they can actually do what they're supposed to do when they get to school. Reading super chat shortly.
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And I'm so scared for these little girls today because this is the most insane agenda push I have ever seen in my life. We do freeze dance. You guys' daughters are twerking at 5. Where's the parenting? Where's the boundaries? Where's the help? Y'all are not helping your kids. You're hurting them. You guys are hurting them. I come every day dressed, ready to go, and I'm in school too. I'm in college. I mean, I put bows in my hair. I'm wearing leotards. I'm trying to get them interested in like proper things for their age, and you guys are exposing your kids to this raunchy secular music. Why is you guys' 5-year-old's daughter singing Pound Town?
Hey, 5-year-olds twerking is crazy. 5-year-olds twerking is insane. 5-year-olds twerking is crazy. What do you know at 5? What do you know at 5? All you know is whatever is happening in your household at 5 years old. 5-year-olds that know how to twerk is crazy. That's insane. I don't even think I've ever seen my daughter dance before. Jesus Christ.
And it's just really, it's upsetting. And I feel so bad. And I've watched different techniques. Soft skills, soft parenting, gentle parenting. I'm
super
patient.
chat shortly.
I don't yell. I'll say, hey, let's regroup. If you guys need 5 minutes, let's do some breathing. Your kids are telling me to shut up. You guys' kids are saying, I don't want to do that. I'm not doing that. You're not my mom.
That is a learned behavior. For a kid to tell an adult to shut up, that's a 100% a learned behavior. This is not the first time that they doing it. This is something that they do on the regular. A 5-year-old knowing how to, you shouldn't even know how that come out of your mouth because you ain't had no experiences outside of what your parents are showing you or listening to or what you're seeing as an example within your own environment, family, and household. All you know is what's in the house. You don't know nothing. You don't know nothing. How do you know to say shut up to an adult? That's crazy to me, bro.
They're putting they're hitting each other and hitting other kids. You address the parent. The parents are telling you, you don't tell my daughter what to do. It's not that bad. Well, at least she was in the class. At least. It's all these excuses.
Yep.
Y'all come in and you're more worried about what's going on your Instagram and TikTok feed versus being a parent. Be a fucking parent. You guys are horrible fucking parents. Like, I'm sorry to say it, but this generation of some of the mom, not all, but
no, call it out. Call it out. Call it out. Call it what it is. They more concerned with TikTok and what's on their feed than they are of what's happening with their own children. They don't care about anything or anyone except for what makes them feel good. And the children are the ones that suffer as a result of it because they didn't even ask to be here. Call it out. Call it for what it is. Because we tired of mincing words. We tired of playing games. We tired of sitting here playing along with whatever it is, go along, get along sisterhood is. And before we start pointing the finger at anybody else, saying that is their fault, is this fault, systematic, whatever, nobody told you anything other than whatever it is that's happening inside of your household. So if your child is raised to be a certain way, stop blaming it on Black Lives Matter. Stop blaming it on the police. Stop blaming it on the political system. Stop blaming it on your hood. You are the culprit. You are 100% responsible for your children stealing mine's hubcaps. That's a fact. Call it out. Just address it for what it is. Let's just get all our chips on the table so we can address it for what it really is. This is nonsense.
Majority that I've dealt with kids that are between the ages of 5 and 4 and 3, you guys don't parent your children at all. They have no basic comprehension skills. They can't sit still. No attention span. They're hitting people. They can't talk. They can't communicate. They don't even know how to say, like, I want to go to the bathroom. If you ask them a question.
But they know how to say shut up and I want to listen to Pound Town now.
They're rude, nasty, horrible attitudes at 5. And they want to hear Pound Town. What are you guys doing with your kids? What are you guys literally doing with your kids? Because I have never in my life experienced something so horrible. I literally don't even want to teach ballet to you guys' kids anymore because they are so hard to work and deal with. And I literally see why the teachers are quitting and your kids are getting expelled and kicked out, because it's no way, it is literally no way that this is happening and you guys don't see any issue with it. I tell you, your kid hit someone and you're saying, well, what the fuck did the little bitch do to my daughter to make her want to hit?
That's crazy. That's crazy. Jesus Christ. I'm glad I only had one. I'm glad I only had one. Y'all would not believe. Y'all would not believe. As good as a school, considering that what's going on in society today, as good as a school that my daughter goes to, the conversations that me and my wife are currently having with regard to her, you would not believe it.
Hello?
Hey, you busy?
No.
You know I'm on a live stream, right?
Yes.
Quick question.
Yes.
With regard to Leslie and schooling, what have we been discussing as far as whether she should go or not?
She should go in school or go online, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Going online.
Homeschooling?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. It's crazy out here. It's crazy. It's insane. What did the little B do in order for my 5-year-old to put their hands on them in the first place? These is little girls. These is little girls. Whew. Let me get the rest of this video played.
Hit. Nothing. Literally nothing. Your daughter just decides she wants to put her hands on people and you don't correct her. You're yelling at me, asking me why does she feel like she wants to hit? What parenting is happening? You guys are worried about seafood boils and dates and fucking like partying and being a hot mom. You guys are shitty moms and it needs a change. Stop listening to Sexy Red around your children. Talk to your kid, interact with them, teach them, listen to them, teach them to respect authority. Don't say you don't have to listen to anyone unless they're me. Your kids are so horrible and hard to deal with, and I'm blaming the parents because they have horrible guidance. And it needs to be a change. And I'm asking, can somebody's mom stitch me and say like what the holdup is? What is the issue? Why are you listening to raunchy music around your kids? Why is it that you have to deal with certain people and be rude about it? Why can nobody correct your kid or help them get on a better track? And why do you guys approve and applaud bad behavior? Why? Because I'm telling you, all the teachers that are good and have genuine interest in building your kid, I want to help them. I want to help these little girls realize that they are precious, that they have purpose, that they're beautiful, that they're smart and intelligent, and that they can be somebody. Not
you can't want it more for them than they want it for themselves, than the parents want it for them. That's the problem with good people. Let me let the rest of this play, and then I'm gonna give my final thoughts on this.
I don't want to see little 5-year-olds trying to twerk to Pound Town. And you guys think that it's cute. And I'm coming on here because it needs to be a change. So please tell me, as an educator, a teacher, and I'm just a ballet teacher. I'm not a regular trained institutional teacher. I'm teaching 5-year-olds ballet, and these are all the problems starting now, and it's no change happening. So what needs to be done and happen to fix this issue? Please, somebody tell me, somebody make it make sense, because I'm telling you, I'm this close to quitting and saying I'd never want to work with people's kids again, because this has been the most horrible experience. I've never dealt with an experience like this. Listening to raunchy music around your kids needs to stop. Applauding bad behavior needs to stop. Not giving your kid your attention but throwing an iPad at them or a tablet because you don't want to parent needs to stop.
I think we got the point. I think we heard enough. Smoking weed around your children need to stop. Them not having, let me add on, them not having a father in a household and that you chose to have a child with a man that you knew wasn't going to be there needs to stop. Being around ghetto people and being ghetto yourself and not having a clean household needs to stop. BBLs need to stop. Dressing naked needs to stop. Being their friends instead of their parents needs to stop. This trash culture that we celebrate the most needs to stop. Not having a 2-parent household and being married before you have sex or carry need to stop. So much need to stop, but we have babies raising babies, and now so many people actually is against the thing that I think makes the most sense, and they trying to debate with me about how it is that you need to move a little bit differently when it comes to taking care of business in your household. Needs to stop. Let me read some of these super chats, and then we're going to get it popping. We're going to continue over with the show. Shout out to the Dolton trustee. Says, thanks for your help. More coming. Shout out to you. I appreciate you, big dog. Prince Elian is in the building. Says, check out multiple local news stations say the same thing verbatim. Liberal media got caught doing it. Then it said conservative media was behind it. Yeah, we're going to do some research. David X is in the building. Says, it disrupts class and all students don't learn. Shout out to David X. Says they will say she wrong if she kicks them out. Listen, I don't think that there is not going to be a situation where they come after her. They're going to go after her. They're going to scrutinize her Instagram profile. They're going to scrutinize anything that she had any video before. Instead of them addressing the issues that she said within their own household, the people are going to come after her. I guarantee it. I might have to reach out to her and see what she's talking about. Daniel Gordon in the building with the 20 ball says it's crazy because entertainment, social media, and government have created the conditions we see today. And guess what? The mentality of the kids, of kids, we're going to be exposed to it anyway. Look where we at with that mentality today. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you for that super chat, and you are absolutely right. Shin C says, I hate parents today. F y'all kids. They got mad at me when I said it. Umberto says, teaching starts at the home. This is sad. Shout out to Humberto Ramos. Jay Ben is in the building, says, we need a ballet class on the show. What's Miss Teacher's social handle? She needs to come to have a conversation, learn us or something. Let me pull up her stuff. I want to give her a little bit of a shout out. Let me see if I can find her. Yes. Let me see. She kind of fine on the low, though. I'm looking at her Instagram profile right now. Hold on, J Ben. Hold on. Hold on, big dog. Let me see if I can get this up. Her name is Sai. She kind of fine, though. I ain't even gonna cap, bro. I ain't even gonna cap on it, bro. She kind of bad. Let me DM her real quick, see if I can get. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. Let me see if I can type something out for her real quick. Message. Hold on, give me a second. Love for you too. Close that out real quick. All right, let me continue to read. let me read some of the rest of the super chats. Then we're going to continue over with the show. You know what I'm saying? Christian West says, my kids were watching the Cartoon Network and they had the characters twerking in Teen Titans. Really? Had to filter what they watched. The agenda push is real. That's crazy, fam. And Teen Titans? Jay Brent says, I wish my children was. I'll leave it at that. Facts. My daughter know better. AR Smitty in the building says, you still having another baby time, dog? Nah, I'm done. I'm done, fam. I'm done. Trey D in the building says, public schooling should be for pay only. Weed out the kids that are not interested in learning. Facts. Zach in the building says, and our sons are going to have to choose these girls when they get older. Birth rates will plummet. Marriage will be a myth after this. Nah, they having a whole lot of kids, though. You know what I'm saying, Zach? They still having a whole bunch of kids. Jeremy H says, my son in youth soccer and based in a discipline and fitness. You can tell the kids who have dads at home when single moms be having fat kids. That's true, too. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notifications. Let me move over into what's going on with these schools, because it honestly, it inspired me to start doing a deeper dive on recent articles and different things that's happening within our school system, and they saying that truancy is an issue. That kids, once they start getting to a certain age, they don't even go to school anymore.
This week, America celebrates Education Week. Across our country, there are great teachers, educators, and students. But in too many communities, the problems are even greater. According to experts, schools are in the midst of a crisis. Truancy and absenteeism are at record highs.
J-Rock, you crazy.
I'm
going to read that super chat shortly.
The crisis is real, the headwinds are strong, and the will to win is relentless. This report, part of our series, The American Classroom.
Hartford, Connecticut, called the insurance capital of the world. World-class private schools to match. That's one Hartford. We rode around the other. Our tour guide, a native son, a product of Hartford Public Schools.
So this is a ride-along. This is when we take people out in the community to show them kind of like what we do. But normally, for me, this is me doing street engagement.
Street engagement?
Yeah. So normally I would drive through the neighborhoods, find young people, engage them in conversation.
At age 49, Diego Lopez bears the scars of his schooling.
What happened to your finger?
Oh, so I was shot.
You were shot?
Yeah, I'm a 4-time gunshot victim.
Where?
All over my body.
Be specific.
Like I was shot in the stomach, the chest, back, lower extremities, blew my finger off, the arm. It's like 9 bullet holes.
Shout out to the 50 Cent of Hartford, Connecticut. Not driving around with 9 fingers. That's not good. That's not good. That's not cool. Not driving around with a nub like this. That's not good. Brittany B says he nice looking. I know, cool, nice looking guy until he show you his finger. Then you don't want to talk to him no more because he said suck my thumb. And you ain't know which finger it was, huh?
A 9th grade dropout, a former member of the Latin Kings, Lopez spent 10 years in a Connecticut state prison. He changed and became a counselor. Today, with one daughter in college, another who will attend soon, he's focused on helping children. The hard streets of Hartford, his office.
We're in what you describe as the trenches.
Yeah, we're in the trenches. We at risk.
But yet you show up here, I don't see security, I don't see a weapon, I don't see Kevlar vest. I mean, you're doing in some way what the police do.
100%. Yeah.
Diego works with teenagers on the shy side of success.
What's up, man? Byron Pitts, how you doing?
Many of them high school dropouts, like Amanda.
I was a junior when I dropped out.
How long ago was that?
3 years.
So you dropped out in the 11th grade. May I ask why?
It was COVID.
COVID, oh, I see.
I felt like it was more needed.
Did school give up on you, or did you give up on school?
It was kind of both.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, you notice how they don't know how to communicate past one sentence at a time? They don't know how to communicate. They don't have nothing to do. They standing on the corner. They masked up. What you masked up for, fam? What you masked up for, fam? Dropped out in the 11th. They had 1.5 years more to go, and they dropped out in the 11th grade. And they just waiting to catch a felony or a body. They waiting to steal something, kill something. They on the internet trying to figure out how to become a Kia boy. And they just waiting to steal something. That's it. Cause havoc, destruction, hopefully get through it, maybe become a rapper.
How you tell someone that education is important when they're worried about getting killed or gang violence and all this other stuff that's going on in their life? And we expect our children to learn when they don't even know if they're gonna live.
So as you see it, what's broken in schools?
I don't think, our kids think education is as important as it was before. I think our schools are just straight up just failing our kids.
Those are hard.
Now, you hear it? He said he thinks that the schools are failing the children. As much as we have to give this brother respect for riding around and being a community advocate and speaking to the youth, It's not the schools, it's the parents, it's the culture, it's the things that schools are not there to babysit and chase people's kids around. That is not what it's for. As much as we want to give this brother credit for being a community advocate, schools are not there to chase your children around. That is not their job. It is not their job in order to force your kid to come in there and learn and to create a better environment than you got at your house. That is not their job. We have the blind leading the blind straight down into an alcohol river. What is wrong with y'all and that y'all are blaming it on the schools, the police? They give you an opportunity to learn. It's y'all fault that y'all schools is messed up. It's y'all fault that y'all neighborhoods is tore up. It's y'all fault that y'all don't call the police when somebody rob each other. It's y'all fault that y'all keep using no snitching in order to validate the fact that you don't want to do your job within your own neighborhood. Then you want to say, I had a guy, somebody sent me an email of a guy that was talking about me. He said, Anton ain't Detroit, Anton this. Why? Because I want to do it the right way and I want to pay my taxes and I don't want to get shot. He ain't no thug. You're right. I never wanted to be a thug. I always wanted to be a righteous guy, a church guy. I have to fight against these OGs that failed us before and validating, and they don't own no property in their neighborhood. They ain't got no vested interest in seeing it successful. They just there living off of Section 8 housing, trapping, running it up as far as doing drugs, and then leaving the residual effects to their kids and then blaming it on the schools and the system. You are the system, idiot.
Truths in Hartford. In cities and poor communities across America, many desperate children feel like no one cares if they're in school, so they stop going.
Am I even working hard enough? Should I just give up?
I wouldn't be as motivated as I was before, and I would start skipping.
You ain't got that haircut though. You make sure you hit the barbershop every week though, big dog. You look like a grown man. Man, if you don't get in school, what do you mean don't nobody care if you go to school? That's what your parents is for. That's not for us. That's not the school. It's not Anton from AntonDaniels.com responsibility to make sure that I care about you whether or not you go to school. So I got to ride around in my car and check to see if you in school because your parents failed to do you some justice and your mama wanted to have sex with your daddy that you don't even know, and then she lied and said that your daddy wasn't your daddy, and now you feeling some type of way and you continuing to look to Drizzy Drake in order to give you some direction on how it is that you're supposed to grow up and treat women. It's your parents' fault. It's your culture's fault.
Going to school started to become a big struggle for me when I started to struggle with my mental health.
Children reaching a breaking point. Since the pandemic, students have disappeared from schools in alarming numbers. Over a quarter of all U.S. students, K through 12, miss 10% or more of school. They're considered chronically absent.
The education system is working for some and not for others. And COVID-19 really, I think, exacerbated a lot of the challenges that we saw around educational inequality and disparate outcomes among different groups of children.
In our nation's capital, 48% of students are chronically absent. In California, 30%. Connecticut, 24%.
That's crazy.
Educators feel the burden.
I ask this question respectfully. Is the system broken?
We in schools are tasked with solving for a lot.
The fight for the future of America's children is at a crisis point. In 2021, there were 2 million dropouts.
We're losing way too many children. They're either not showing up or they're leaving early and really not having any opportunities beyond that.
Nationwide, for millions of students, a typical school day is filled with too many obstacles. From issues with transportation, caring for loved ones, to depression and anxiety, students are missing school.
The education system is not working for Black and African American students. It's not working for students who may speak a language other than English. It's not working for students with disabilities. It's not working for students who live in poverty. And it's not working for students who don't have an advocate who can make sure that their needs are being met.
Every day, these campus peace builders, as they're called, go.
You know, the interesting part about it is that I went to what I would consider the best high school in the entire city of Detroit, Cass Technical High School. And it is a public school, but they still have standards, meaning that you had to test to get in, you had to maintain a certain GPA average, and it was a zero tolerance policy for anything that was egregious, such as fighting. You fight for any reason, don't care whose fault it is, you gone. I don't care if it's your final year. Your grade point average dropped between the 2.25 and a 2.5. You now on academic probation. If it dropped below 2.25, you have 1 or 2 semesters to be able to get your grade point average up, or you got to go to another school. It's a public school. And you got to remember, I came from a private school. And interestingly enough, all of us, because the school is downtown and very few people actually lived downtown and went to school there because it is the largest high school in the city. Interestingly enough, everybody came from all over the city. Now, we got one of the biggest cities as far as square footage or mileage in the entire United States of America. What was that? Come on in. You can come in. Oh, I see you. What's up, baby girl? I'm live streaming. You want to come speak to the audience? I was just asking. You like it in here? You work on the second floor? Yeah, we moving up here. It's over 2,200 people in here. You want to say hi to them?
What up, though?
You could chill. You could have a seat somewhere. So, but anyways, when we were growing up, hold on 1 second. Let me make sure I get this together for y'all. When we were growing up in the city, we came from all walks of life, right? And so it was very, very important for us to, and you had buses coming from the east, it was buses coming from the west, it was buses coming from everywhere, right? And we did what we had to do in order to make it happen. It was kids that was coming from more privileged backgrounds. It was kids that ain't have nothing, the whole 9 yards. But more importantly, everybody was there to do the right thing, and they had a support system. Some people didn't even really have a support system. But they had a support system that allowed for us to really, really be able to thrive. But it started at home. It started at home. It was important for us to make sure that we took care of business, and it started at home. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be careful. You got to be careful with blaming it on the school system, because I think more importantly that it takes the parents that actually make the adjustment in order to create the environment that allows for the kids to be able to thrive.
Go out into Hartford.
I have a couple home visits.
Meeting young people where they are.
A youth in the hospital and then a mom.
Offering job training, providing basic needs like food, clothing, shelter, and friendship.
So the question of the
Reading
day
super chat
today
shortly.
is, what is an obstacle that keeps youth from going to school or causes them to drop out of school?
I think one of the biggest issues
Shout out to
is
Stack Bundles.
trauma. We live in a traumatized environment, and our schools are not trauma-informed.
Compass has been working with 17-year-old Raheen Hodges for a year.
Are you in school?
No, not right now.
You dropped out.
Yes.
Why?
To be honest, when I came back from COVID, it's just like felt like school wasn't like motivating me.
Were you absent a lot?
No.
No, you would go every
I
day.
would show up, but I just wouldn't like participate.
What kind of grades did you get when you were in school?
Like C's, D's. And like when I did try, I would get like B's and A's. I feel like they gave up on me because like when I would try, I just wouldn't get the help that I like needed.
Give me an example.
Like they would make me feel like I was stupid. Like I would ask for help, and like they would make me feel like I was just like dumb or something.
This time last year, Genesis Luciano had also dropped out of school.
Why'd you drop out?
I was homeless. So it was just a lot of stuff going on for me, and I just said I didn't want to do it anymore.
How old were you?
She got that hair done though, don't she?
I was 17.
So were you a good student in a bad situation, or were you in a bad situation and not really that good a student?
I was a good student in a bad situation.
And do you think the school didn't see you?
The school didn't really understand me as much.
I think that it is difficult, unfortunately, right now to find joy in school. Schools have become places where teachers are stressed, are overworked, and for students, you know, some of the content is increasingly irrelevant to them.
The reality is this, though, y'all, and this is really what it comes down to, is that we don't have our priorities in order as a culture. We continue to do the thing that's not in our best interest. We continue to prioritize making sure that we do all of the things that's meaningful to us, but then we use it as an excuse in order to not do the things that's meaningful for our future. And you have to leverage the blame to make sure that you hold the people accountable that's responsible, and it's the parents and it's the culture. That's just the facts. It's the parents and the culture. Let me read some of these super chats, and then I'm gonna move over into the last thing that I want to talk to you guys about before we get you guys up out of there. J Ben with the 5 ball says, "Ooh, I'm Ed, and you Kate Ted, but sheesh, I think I need to pick up another class. I thought men said there's no good black women outside." Shout out to J Ben. Sniper in the building says, "Hyenas are a plague in the black culture." Shout out to you. J Rock says, he said he lost his side chick because he put her on the game for the show. J Ben, I'm going to need you to go ahead and not have side chicks, big dog. Sportsaholic Gerard says, "Tell the teacher I said, what up, though?" Gotta be from Detroit. J Rock says she want to go back to school for IT, and that's all AD. Interesting. Razik in the building. Shout out to my guy, Razik. Says, scroll down Shorty IG page. She all cap, portraying herself to be the exact same thing she claims she hate. All cap, all these chicks do is lie. No, Razik. No, 5-year-olds should not know how to do that, Razik. Glow Hardy says the OGs Anton had to fight against probably think forklift certification means that they made it in corporate America. Stack Bundles is in the building. Says migrants had a protest about the shelter in New York. Oh, interesting. Send that to me. Email it to me, AntonDaniels413@gmail.com. Kids missing school, parents missing work, just generations of failure. And then JRock24K says, "Still love you, bro, but she gone." Your side chick? Oh, my God. Linda, hold on. Let me give a round of applause for Linda. Linda is in the building. Linda sent the 50 ball. Linda, you can't be making it rain on me like a side chick at a strip club, baby girl. Says, as a new G in my era, disobedience meant you had to live a short-term life. It hurts to say I have buried so many young people. Consequences, disobedience sends you into an early grave. I want you to live. Shout out to Linda Ballard, 911 Health. I appreciate you for holding us down, Linda. Thank you. It does not go unnoticed. Thank you, my love. Also, Andre Magruder says these children's answers are all self-centered. The world does not care about them. They need to know that. Shout out to you. Prince Elian is also in the building. Says, got another video for you to check out, Mr. Daniels. Look up dozens of flash dads cheer on students at Kentucky Elementary School. Send it to me. Email me at AntonDaniels413@gmail.com, and I'll definitely check that out. Let me show one more thing to you guys before we get up out of here. First of all, we got over 2,100 people in here, 2,200 people in here, and the likes is a little bit lower than we'd like them to be. So make sure you do that. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Also, Teach Hanley, 30% off your first order plus a free gift. That link is in the description. Ladies, get it for your fellas. Fellas, don't wait for your ladies to get it for you. And let's continue to run it up. I want to share this one more thing with you guys before we get up out of here. So a lot of you guys are familiar with ChatGPT, right? ChatGPT. I use it. I think that it's a great platform. I don't think that I've even leveraged how powerful it can be, or artificial intelligence, because artificial intelligence is basically powering everything that we have going on in society today. Well, Sam Altman was the founder, and he was also the CEO of OpenAI, which is basically the company that powered and launched ChatGPT. Sam Altman was fired, ladies and gentlemen, then rehired. But before we get to the rehiring, let me bring you guys up to speed of what was happening over these past couple of days over the weekend, and I couldn't wait to share this for you. So this is the part of the show that I really love. The getting into the money, the politics when it comes to corporate America, the fighting, the leverage that people want as far as controlling a specific company. This is what happened over this past weekend with Sam Altman, who was basically the founder of OpenAI, which launched ChatGPT.
Major breaking news related to OpenAI. Steve Kovac joins us now. This is a stunner in some respects, Steve.
Yeah, Sam Altman is out as CEO of OpenAI. We just got this announcement, Scott. I'll read you directly from the release, the board saying, quote, Mr. Altman's departure follows a deliberative review process by the board, which concluded that he was not consistently candid in his communications with the board, hindering its ability to exercise responsibility. The board no longer has confidence in his ability to continue leading OpenAI. No details about what was said or what wasn't said or what this communication was about. They are naming their chief technology officer, Mira Murati, as an interim CEO for the time being. But of course, this has more implications beyond just OpenAI. Microsoft, of course, major investor in OpenAI, owning a significant part of that company as well. I've reached out to Microsoft for comment, and I'll get back to you if we hear anything, Scott.
Well, I mean, I can just tell you as we're having this conversation, Steve, that, the minute this thing started to filter out, Microsoft shares started to fall. Yeah. They're down near 2% now, I suppose for obvious reasons, because of that relationship that these two companies, which have had, which, let's be honest, put Microsoft into the driver's seat. In the way that the market has taken it from step one.
Yeah, and Sam Altman was very much the face of this company, right? He was just at the Apex Summit meeting with everyone there, along with the top tech CEOs, including Satya Nadella, including folks like Apple's Tim Cook. So he is, very much at the forefront of this company. I was in Congress, Scott, back in May. He was the one who testified in front of Congress talking about AI regulation. He's the guy to go to. He has been at the forefront of this AI boom we've been seeing more than any other company, more than any other person, and he is now out. Of course, we're dying for details of what exactly happened here, but up until this week, he was still the face of the company and really out there promoting this technology. Just even just a week ago, they had a big event, and he was there giving the keynote speech in a very Steve Jobsian way, showing new features for what's coming at OpenAI and ChatGPT. So it's unclear what the future is here, but yeah, you see Microsoft now down 2% on this news, Scott.
So this is what happened over the weekend, and reportedly, the CEO of Microsoft, which invested over $12 billion, not million, billion with a B. Microsoft, which is largely being powered by, and shout out to sister, I'm going to read that super chat shortly. Thank you. I love you. Microsoft, which I am a heavy, heavy investor. Microsoft, let me be very, very candid and why this is meaningful to me. Microsoft takes up about 25 to 28% of my portfolio, my investment portfolio as far as the stocks that I'm invested in, my brokerage account. Microsoft takes up well over 25% of my portfolio and has been the best performing stock that I have as far as blue chip stocks in my portfolio for this year. Microsoft is booming, and I mean booming. And part of the reason why Microsoft is booming is because not only do they have a great CEO and phenomenal business model, but also because they've leveraged their investment in certain platforms, including OpenAI, which was a $12 billion investment, and they largely lean into Sam Altman, which was the founder of OpenAI, to continue to power the models that is then allowing for them to be able to capitalize financially and also leveraging the value of that company in order to continue to be successful. And so the CEO of Microsoft was pissed that all of this went off. And this is so bad that I was just reading an article this morning that so many people are quitting OpenAI because this was a coup and they fired him and they didn't know what the fallback or the blowback was going to be as a result of it. So many people are angry at this that there's allegedly about 500 employees that are looking to quit OpenAI in protest of the fact that Sam Altman was fired. Now, I'm going to tell you what I think is going to happen. But before I get over into communicating that with you guys, I want to share with you guys what recently happened as of 2 hours ago this morning. 2 hours ago this morning, this is what recently happened with Sam Altman after being ousted. Steve Jobs style. A lot of people are not familiar with Steve Jobs' story in his early history with Apple, but when he was ousted before he came back into the company, this is basically what happened as of 2 hours ago this morning.
Breaking news overnight after being fired from OpenAI on Friday, Sam Altman has a new gig now with Microsoft. Steve Kovac joins us with the latest twists and turns in this ongoing saga.
Yeah, twists and turns is an understatement, Andrew. So look, ousted OpenAI CEO Sam Altman is not going to be returning to the company following that drama-filled weekend that rocked Silicon Valley and put Microsoft's leadership in AI at risk. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella announcing early this morning Altman will join Microsoft as the head of a new AI research division, along with Greg Brockman, an OpenAI co-founder and former board member who quit in solidarity with Altman back on Friday. On the OpenAI side, the startup has its third leader since Friday. Board named Emmett Shear, most recently CEO of Twitch, as interim CEO. He's replacing Mira Murati, OpenAI's CTO, who was named interim CEO after Altman's firing on Friday.
So the interim CEO, which was a woman, that was basically making the day-to-day decisions as the CTO, the Chief Technology Officer, briefly filled the position of OpenAI's CEO once Sam Altman was fired. The CEO of Microsoft was so pissed, and he's such a fan of Sam Altman that he already hired him within 2 days to go over to Microsoft to lead their AI research team. That's power. People were so aligned with this guy, and they so aligned with Sam Altman that even his people that co-founded the company with him and several different employees already defected and said they following him wherever it is that they go. The former CEO of Twitch is now, or the co-founder of Twitch, Emmett Shear, is now the interim CEO of OpenAI. So now we have a decision to make, ladies and gentlemen. But let me play a little bit more of this, and then we're going to continue to have this conversation.
Reportedly staying at the startup for now, but there's some questions about that. So look,
somebody said, how much is Microsoft stock these days? The last time I checked, it was like $371 a share, $371 a share, something like that. Good question.
On Friday, blowback coming out from investors, including Microsoft, which owns a big stake it bought in a deal worth $10 billion. Those investors pushed for Altman's reinstatement, with Nadella taking a key role in the negotiations, but OpenAI board refused to restructure itself as Altman demanded as a condition of his return. And instead of losing Altman and Brockman if they started a new AI startup, Microsoft brought them in-house. Now, it's still unclear what this means for OpenAI and the relationship with Microsoft. Microsoft relies on OpenAI technology for its own AI products. Trouble at OpenAI could limit Microsoft's ability to push out new features and stay ahead of Google and others in this AI race. And it's going to take time for Altman to build a team at Microsoft, focused still on OpenAI getting its house in order. I will say for now, guys, Microsoft is standing with its relationship with OpenAI, saying they support this new interim CEO. But look, it's bringing Altman in is kind of a signal that they may be ready to just push him aside and say no more drama.
Now, you got to take into consideration a couple different things when we evaluating this from a financial perspective. This is a race all across the board. And I mean, when I say a race, it's an arms race, an early arms race. You're seeing the infancy of AI technology. AI technology can be used in a multitude of different ways, and it's a race both visibly and silently across all of these different companies. And Microsoft largely basically received a coup because of their early investment in OpenAI, and that the release of ChatGPT and then leveraging that information in order to continue to power Microsoft ambitions made the company much more valuable. And also it got a valuable valuation of over $80 billion the last time that I checked of what OpenAI is. But a lot of that is based off of Sam Altman. Now, who is Sam Altman to OpenAI and ChatGPT? Well, Sam Altman's importance to these companies, according to a lot of the different people within the company, is very similar to the importance of Elon Musk to Tesla, right? Their fortunes are very much tied. The loyalty of a lot of the people that work at these companies is all based off of their belief in the CEO, which made it very, very weird for them to oust him in the first place and then make a power play to try to take over the company as a result of getting rid of him, right? And again, this is one of the myths, and this is a easy conversation to have with you guys, because a lot of you guys think that just because you're the CEO, and we had this conversation last week, somebody said, oh, they're the CEO, the CEO. The CEO does not necessarily mean that you have absolute power. He was a founder, a CEO, but then when you give other people equity into the company, it then gives them the position or the authority to be able to control what happens with the company. Now, you may make the day-to-day decisions. You may make the hiring decisions. You may be forging a path for the direction of the company, right? The founder of the company, you understand it intimately, but it does not mean that you have total control. So stop thinking that just because you're the CEO or the co-founder, that means that you have absolute power and control of what goes on in the company. No. Once the company is bought into, once other people have equity in it, if it becomes a IPO, which is an initial public offering, meaning that it then becomes a company that is publicly traded, it means that you are just an employee just like everybody else, but you may have a vested interest in that company becoming successful because you may have shares or equity into the company. But that does not necessarily mean that you are controlling everything that happens into the company. It's the board members, it's the chairman, it's the shareholders. Those are your bosses, okay? What I like from Microsoft, and this is one of the reasons why I love the company, and that I think that their CEO is probably one of the best CEOs right alongside Tim Cook, as any company that you see happening that's publicly traded, is that he said, listen, I'm not letting this guy start his own company. I'm not even going to entertain a possibility of him going somewhere else. We're going to give him whatever it is that he wants to keep him in-house. The question that we need to ask ourselves is this: is Microsoft going to make a play to then remove themselves, because they are still interdependent on OpenAI in order to continue to power whatever their long-term venture or a lot of the things that they have happening within their company from an AI perspective? The question that we have to ask ourselves is Microsoft eventually going to put themselves in a position to make a play to continue to divest themselves from it once Sam Altman then builds his team up, if he never goes back over to OpenAI? Or is Microsoft in a position as a power player within the company to then put him back in a position and then move out all of the different politics and all of the different people that wanted him ousted from what's happening within the company in order to continue to go down the path that they're going down already originally, right? It's crazy. But politics, power plays, and it all comes back down to power and the money of what's going on in all of these publicly traded companies, or these companies that are invested, or these companies that you see in the headlines. All of it is politics. All of it comes back down to the money. But I believe in Microsoft. I think that they are one of the best ran companies. I think that they are the best ran company. I think that Microsoft is the best ran company in the United States of America right now. The best ran technology company anyways, right alongside Apple and Netflix. So I'm going to keep my eye on this. I'm going to pay attention to it. Again, full disclosure, I am not a financial consultant, so I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just giving you my opinion, and I'm also very open and honest about the fact that Microsoft consumes about 28% of my brokerage account as far as the individual stocks that I'm invested in, somewhere between 25 and 28%. I actually increased my position over the weekend and this morning. So I love Microsoft. It's probably always going to be a part of my portfolio. Somebody was right. It is a dividend company, meaning that it pays dividends every quarter. And it is a great company. It's one of the best companies ever. So that's my thoughts. That's my position. I'm going to read a few more super chats, and then I'm going to get y'all up out of here to make sure that you guys have a wonderful afternoon, and it's going to be an exciting, awesome week. Thank you to everybody that is tuned in. Thank you to all of my people on Facebook, YouTube, all across the board. We got a lot of great things coming. I can't wait for some of these announcements that I'm going to make. Brock came through with the 5-ball and said, hey, man, this is a pass of love offering. Shout out to Brock. I appreciate you, big dog. Sister Vijanita. Oh, my God. Yo, sis, you literally just threw $100 at me like I was a stripper. Shout out to sis, says, Mr. AD, Here's a little return on my investment from being a bag chaser. This is not a donation, meaning that we over at the Chasers, make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. We add value into our people, and we are dedicated to making sure that you guys become successful. I cannot wait to do the Invest in Your Business series that we're doing this Sunday. More details to come this afternoon. I might drop it in the morning or this afternoon. I know we got the game today over at Pistons is playing the Denver Nuggets. So thank you, sis. I appreciate you. I love you. It does not go unnoticed. Thank you, my love. You are very, very much appreciated. I don't ask for the super chats, but the people see the value in what it is that we do over here, and you are entertained. So I'm very, very thankful. Counselor G in the building says, I just finished working on something, so I'll have to check out the playbook. Great info, dog. I had good experiences with Microsoft also. I also hold a few of their tech certifications. So, shout out to Counselor Mr. G in the building. I love it when you call up on Fridays. Savvy Social Work says, talk about run the play. The question is, who bought yesterday when the price dip? Follow the money. Anton from AntonDaniels.com. Magnum Group is in the building. Shout out to the Magnum Group. I appreciate you. Times the Vibes Lounge says, my very first podcast is on AI and the community. Thank you, big dog, and I appreciate you for continuing to contribute into the platform. Thank you to everybody that supported me on Cash App and all of the other platforms. Again, I do not ask for it, but you guys see the value in what we're doing. I would absolutely advocate that you guys join the Patreon if you have not already. You do not have to, but it is a platform that we use. Our Discord, we have a lot of great conversations. We do meetups, and again, on the 26th, which is Sunday this month, we will be doing an Invest in Your Business series, where I personally will be donating $1,000 to $2,000 a piece in order for you guys to make sure that you vet out whatever business ideas that you have, if it's worth having a conversation about. But you have to pitch it first, and you have to be a bag chaser. I'm looking to spend about $20,000, probably upwards of about $20,000. If I can get 10 to 15 people that I could add value into their business by giving them one, maybe $1,000, $1,500 a piece, maybe up to $2,000. Who knows? I'm looking for at least 10 businesses, up to 15 businesses that I can invest in. I take no equity in your business. It's just me saying thank you for the people that continue to hold me down and all of the chasers. And I like to add value into your lives. And hopefully I can be a help to you and your family before Christmas. Listen, I love you guys. I appreciate you. You are the greatest audience on earth. I have the greatest show on the internet. You guys are absolutely awesome. But I need y'all to do me one more favor before we get up out of here. Make sure you share this with your family and friends. We don't want to be successful by ourselves. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm looking forward to kicking it with y'all tonight when we live stream on Q's show. It's going to be great. You know what we're talking about. We deep diving deeper into these relationship conversations. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace, family.